guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Yoyis and I'm a lash artist in Las Vegas, and I am so excited. I am super excited for today's guest because not only is she the owner of an amazing company, she is the most amazing human being I have ever met, and I have the pleasure to be working with such an incredible company. So let me introduce you guys to Jenna from SocoLashes. And I'm pretty sure that half of you guys already know who she is. If you have been following me for a while, you guys already know that I'm a die-hard SocoLashes everything. Like, I love her products and I am an ambassador for her, but that doesn't change the fact that her products are incredible. I'm telling you guys, before I started using her products, my everything was not on point, and then when she came and introduced her products to the world, everything just completely changed. So if you guys have never tried out SocoLashes, you need to stop right there, go check her out, go check out, oh my goodness, I'm just gonna leave it here. So make sure to sit down, grab a snack, because this is a pretty long video, but the nuggets, oh my goodness, all the info that you're gonna get from Jenna is just like probably what you need, because it is what I needed. So if you're a beginner lash artist and if you feel like you're struggling on some certain areas, or if you've been lashing for a very long time but you still kind of need a refresher on some certain things, this is a video for you. Like, I'm telling you guys, everything we talked about is just like anyways, I don't want to take too much of your time because Jenna literally will blow your mind, and every little thing that she has to say is just amazing. So grab your snacks, sit down, pay attention. You don't want to miss out anything that she has to say. So let's get into the video. I got my lows, I got my highs, moving on close to my goal. Time is now, place is here to rest, filling the holes on my soul. I see, I like, I go, I get, no one can hold me back. I see, I like, I go, I get, go, I get, go, I get, go, I get now. Hello.
I know. Is there somebody here for you? Sorry, I order a lot of things online, so that
It's all good.
never enough prep for this.
I literally want to go over there and pet your dog, just play with it.
Hey, come here. Can you see him?
Yeah. Oh, he looks like a little gentle guy.
We have an English bulldog puppy, but she is just crazy. She'll make like, I'll let them out if you want later on, but they're like constantly like, arr.
That's my dogs. I have a little Maltese and I have a white husky, and they're like always going at it.
Oh my God, they're always it's making noise. It's never quiet.
Yes.
Okay, so I have no idea what we're going to talk about today. So hopefully I'm prepared.
I have a bunch of questions for you.
And happy birthday, right?
Oh, thank you.
So I had it on my calendar that today was your birthday, so I was going to send you a birthday gift. And it's shipping out today because I'm a ding dong and didn't. I set my alarm for today, not like 5 days before. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. Oh, thank you. So I wanted to share my secret project that I've been working on.
Yay! What is it?
My shirt.
Oh my God! I was like, I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Okay, back up. I can't see it. Oh
So
my God.
I'm dropping merch. But
I love it.
it's just my logo for.
Yay! That's so funny. We're waiting, but we have something in the works too. But you'll be getting it before everybody else.
Really? Yeah, I can't wait. Everything you drop is always good, so I'm excited about that.
Try.
Okay, I'm actually really nervous because I've been wanting to meet you for a long time.
Oh my gosh,
And
it's so funny.
today is our 1 year anniversary.
No, happy anniversary. That's so crazy.
I know. And it's crazy because I think about it. I was actually talking to my husband about it. I was like, last year, when me and him were actually getting ready to go to a bar for my birthday, I remember you messaging me and asking me if I wanted to be your brand ambassador. And I was like, oh my God, on my birthday. I'm so happy.
Or what I had to do, it was your birthday.
Yeah.
Your work obviously speaks for itself. And I'm so lucky to have you. And I honestly, like we did a lot of rebranding and kind of movement in the company, and you're the only one that we decided to keep. So,
Aw, thank you.
thank you.
That means a lot. So I actually have all your old packaging.
Oh my gosh, we saved one of each. Actually, I think that we have a couple of each, but
Yeah, like I saved the glues. I saved the old packages for the lash trays. I love them. They're so cute. I can't get rid of them.
thank you. Okay, really quickly,
Yes.
you launch this first. Do you care? I haven't recorded, but do you care if I record it too and then use the audio for a podcast episode?
Yeah, of course.
And I'll let you launch yours first, of course.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to just go ahead and jump right in because I have so many questions for you because I feel like we never actually sat down and talked about how you got started with everything. So I know, yeah, I know that you had mentioned to me that you've been in the industry for 10 years, like about 10 years. So can you talk a little bit about how you got started and your journey with everything?
Actually, it's been, I think I just entered my 19th year. So I was licensed in 2002.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was still, oh, you know what? I think I was still 16. I
Wow.
graduated high school a year and a half early. And it was either I was going to be a police officer, or I was going to do nails. That's what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when I filled out all the paperwork for the police academy, you had to be 21 by the time they would hire you as an actual police officer. So I didn't want to do clerical work for 6 or 5 years, So,
Yeah.
um, complete opposite, but that was my backup plan. This 2002.
Aw, that's a long time. 16, you were little.
Oh yeah, I know. I've always been business minded. At 16, I was like, I just want to make money. I want to start working. School is a waste of time. You think you know everything.
Yeah. So how did you actually get introduced to the lash industry? Like what made you want to go this route?
So I think, I've been around since long before lashes were a thing. I want to say maybe like 10 years ago. Um, the, I want maybe a little more, maybe a little less, give or take, because I didn't jump into it right when it was introduced to the industry. So I want to say maybe 8 years ago, 9 years ago, I kind of dabbled with it. Actually, a girl, Lori, who used to work at the salon across the way, started doing it before I was interested. And it was like there was no education. This one girl was teaching it. And when she was explaining the class to me, I was like, so is it like a school? Does state board regulate this? I don't get it. Somebody just decided one day that they're going to teach people. Well,
Yeah.
it was because it wasn't a thing. Lash extension was a thing. And this was when it was like 0.20 classic, right? In a pot. So you would have these little pots, kind of like what, if anybody gets their nails done, the little glitter. So it would be these pots. I think that there was one diameter. There wasn't even specific curls because it was just one. This is all you had. And at the time, I saw, a professional, and I thought, that looks horrible. Why would anybody ever, number one, pay for that, ever want to learn it? And so I kind of like dabbled in it, and I was like, this is hideous. Mascara looks better, or I thought strip lashes looked better.
Mhm.
So I would say maybe like, I think it's been, I want to say almost 6 years or so that I've been lashing. And I started lashing right when they started introducing the lashes on the strip. So I played with the pot lashes. No way, can't do it. And again, it was still classic. And I had a girl that worked with me, and she was so overwhelmed. And she was, I think, one of like maybe 5 lash artists in all of Sonoma County. And she was like, you guys, I need help. I need somebody to help me. I'm turning away all these clients. And at the time, she charged like $1 a lash, and she would do maybe a full set in like 45 minutes, right? And charge like $350, right? So because she was just doing classics, nobody was like isolating properly. Nobody knew anything about it. So that was my less than mediocre introduction to the industry. It was scary.
That is scary, and it's crazy to think that, you know, the girls that are barely jumping in right now, it's like the perfect time.
I know.
It really is, because we have it so easy compared to everybody that started off, that pretty much launched the lash industry, you know?
Yeah, 100%. Because when I first started, I would say, I think like the only companies that were around were, or maybe Borboleta and Bella. Bella, what? Sorry, Bella was a huge company. They were like number one. So I took their class. I was really passionate about Bella because I liked that it was woman founded. Her and her husband ran it. She was like so sweet. She would get back to me personally anytime I had any questions. Um, and what was your question? I trailed off.
No, I just said that it was like a good time for you know, for girls to
Yeah,
start now.
where I was going, to make a short story long, that's how I am. I would reach out to her and say like, hey, I'm having a problem with X, Y, or Z. What do you think it could be? And the answer was a plethora of, well, it could be this, it could be this, it could be this, but you know, it all depends. And there was never a definitive, okay, well, if this is happening, it's either this, or this, and start here and work your way down the line. There was no definitive answer for anything. And yeah, they're so lucky because now we have answers. And you know, for SocoLashes, for our products, I know all of those products like the back of my hand because we developed every single one. So when somebody's coming to me and like for the stay a while, they're like, it's just not holding. None of my clients' lashes are holding. Well, I can go through 5 different steps and I can tell you exactly what you're doing wrong, and we can fix the problem.
Yeah,
So
it's crazy because I feel the same way too. I'm like, I've been a part of your business since you launched, and that's
right.
actually
Yes. Well, what October, so July, August, September. We were 4 months old. That's it. 4
yes.
months. And prior to that, I used to work with Lashbox. So prior to that, I was working with Lashbox, and in December of the prior year, I created that lens, which took forever. It was so expensive, and I had no idea that it was going to start a company. But I guess technically we kind of started December, but we had no actual lash products. It was just
The
the
lens.
lens.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's funny because I can't live without that lens. That lens is everything to me.
So I have a background in photography. I used to be a professional photographer and did weddings and newborns and family photos. And when I first started lashing, all my clients were like, "Oh my gosh, you're so lucky because now you can actually take good photos." Because everybody else were taking these shitty photos with their phone on their camera on their phone, and I'm like, my work was not good enough at the time to use my professional camera because I'm like, I don't want to see what I'm doing wrong. But then we created this lens, and I mean, gosh, hold on one sec. Yes. Thank you. I'll be happy. Do you want me to show her? So whenever I do my podcast interviews, I get notes under the door, and I don't know if it's backwards, but it says "Be happy."
So cute. Well, I'm definitely happy.
Her hair's not done.
She's
I've
still
been packaging orders all morning and getting, yeah. Over there. Okay, this is it. Last time, and you have to kick rocks, kid. Okay, sorry.
it's okay.
The last time that happens.
It's okay. My sister and her kid live here with me, and he's like about her age, and he's doing the exact same thing. Like, get your ass upstairs.
I realize how unprofessional this is, but now it's like nobody has the option, you know? And
Yep.
she's starting school full time next week. Amen, hallelujah. She goes back 5 days a week.
Good.
I know.
Good. you're just like, I need some space.
Well, I love hanging out with her. I'm one of the, I could bring her everywhere, but I don't get anything done. And like everything's been on hold. I have like all of my projects where I'm actually gonna finish them. I have our new partnership uh, um, contracts and agreements and whatever. And I have like 3 or 4 products in the work. I have some merch that we're coming out with, but I can't focus. I have like ADD. So she tells me something, I'm like, look at the pretty colors.
You get distracted.
Yeah. Okay. You can ask more questions. I'm sorry.
Okay, since we already started talking about your products, the next question was about the Jenna lens and that being the start of your business. So what made you want to officially start making your own brand, like lashes and glue and all that?
Okay, so I had such an overwhelmingly incredible response to the lens. I think with pre-sales, and remember, I had like 300 followers, okay? Nobody knew who I was. So I think like my month 1 of pre-sale, I think we made like, I think it was like $8,500. And I was like, what? That was month 1. And those are all pre-sales. And so it kind of like made me think like I have I have a following that really trusts me, and like I didn't do it to sell. I did it for myself. And I was looking to grow my clientele, and then other people like, what are you taking this pictures with, and how do you do this, and how do you do that? And this was before I did any editing, so everybody really saw like the term for professional photographer is SOOC, straight out of camera. So they would see all of these unedited images on my social media, and I was like referring them to like, well, I was like, oh, I've seen some of them on Amazon, and they were just terrible quality. And our lens, I changed everything. I changed the tension clip. I changed the quality of the glass, because as a former photographer, I know how important like I was a Canon girl, and they had the L series, which is their luxury series glass. It's important. And it was something that I wanted to do for myself. And I think people saw that I just was passionate about it, and I love helping people. And I've never been one of those people to hold back secrets with anything. Anytime anybody wanted to know anything, I was like, oh, here's the link. Well, if that didn't work, what was the problem? So I think like the support and response I got from the lens was like, kind of gave me like an idea, like, I bet I could do this. Mm-hmm. So started with, I'm not going to say anything bad about any company because I know how hard it is, but I was experiencing a lot of inconsistency with, number 1, my glue. I would have to change my glue every like 4 to 6 months. And it wasn't just, one company in specific, it was all companies. And again, the gray area answer was, well, it could be this. Why don't you try switching your glue because the seasons have changed? And I'm like, no, my inside my room hasn't changed. It is a steady 68, 69 degrees. We have air conditioning. We don't have a humidity problem. What is happening? And I don't know if this is what's happening. And again, I'm not saying anything bad about any company, because amen to them, commends to them for coming up with everything. But there was a huge inconsistency. It would be thicker some months. It would be soupy, very thin some months. The retention was inconsistent. And if I'm going to offer my client something and charge them a lot of money, I can't do that knowing that these companies won't back us. And they would say, well, maybe you need to order new glue. Why would I need to order new glue? I opened it 3 days ago. And I remember this one company, I sent them a video. I was like, is this normal? And they wrote, ha ha ha, oh my gosh, that's totally normal. So I was like, okay. It was like almost like I was working with, remember how the old sensitive glues were? Thick and like stringy. It was like that. And I'm like, okay. And it held better than what I was using. So when I ordered round 2, it was completely thin. So I was like, those fucking liars. They just didn't want to send me a new glue, and they should have. Yeah. But that was just something. We have fresh glue every month coming in. I take a batch from every single box. So sometimes I go through, depending on how many big boxes we get, maybe like 1 or 2 a week if we get a bigger, influx of orders, so that I'm taking a glue from every single batch and I know the consistency. And if somebody comes to me and it's thick, it was some thick, I used to like leave it on my cabinet or counter and the sun hits it. That's how it's going to get thick. So I always know, like I said, I know our products like the back of my hand. So if something's up, I know exactly what it is, and still if somebody messes up, we'll send them another glue, but
Yes, and it's crazy to think that I feel the same way. Like,
yeah.
yeah, like if somebody has a question, I feel like I'm on it just because I've been using your products nonstop since you launched from the very beginning.
Easy. Oh my God, yeah.
Hmm.
You
And
know, oh, sorry. I will just.
yeah, like with the glue, I have never had any issues with the glue being inconsistent, you know? It's always the same every time I order, and the retention is incredible. So that's why when it comes to anybody asking me about what product I recommend 100%, it's always a glue. It's
And
always glue.
the glue is, I think, the most important part of every line, because it's I mean, it's the glue that holds everything together. And as far as, I just want to touch one more time on consistency of the product. There was a time where our entire batch was not good, and we lost a lot of money because we didn't have like a good we didn't have a great online sales. I think we're using like Squarespace or something. So I didn't know how to do pre-sales or organize everything. So there were like 6 weeks to where we just didn't take any sales because it wasn't good enough. So everybody that buys our products knows that we test everything first. And if it's not, doesn't pass our standards, we send it back and we're like, we need this yesterday. Let's go.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's how it should be. You should be on top of everything, knowing that everything is to the T. Because I've
Yeah.
ordered from different companies way before I even started using your brand,
Yeah.
and it was a hot mess. It was such a hot mess. And I feel like I struggled a lot in the beginning because I couldn't find the right tweezers. I couldn't find the right glue. The lashes were plastic. It's just, no. And I feel like with your brand, and that's why I love your brand so much, because everything is on point. It's always on point. And I feel like I never have to be like, oh, should I recommend it? I don't know, like if I want to. No, like I'm 100% confident that your everything is going to be on point.
Thank you. Yeah, and we, like, when we get feedback, we actually listen. And if somebody, I mean, not so much anymore because we've tailored everything, and all of our lashes, we have created our own fibers for. So like we have a silk, like our point of fours are silk, but it's a silk blend. Our cashmere is a new fiber of cashmere. And so it's a little secret, we're trademarking easy pinching technology, kind of like easy fanning. And that's what this brand new fiber that we just created for a .03. It's a fiber that has never been used before. It is, anyways, it's incredible. I love it. It's my name. I used to be .04 hardcore 100%. And then we created this fiber, and I'm like, is this like, I just have to pinch myself. Like, is this, oh, it was crazy.
I can't wait because I am a diehard zero point 0.4. So
I was too. Yeah. Believe me, I was like .04, you can fan on the strip with them, you can pinch them. But man, oh, have you tried the O3s yet? Oh no, you hadn't yet, right?
yes, I did try them.
Okay, good, good.
Yes, they're
So
like super soft. I've never tried anything that soft. At first I struggled. I was like, why is this not coming off the strip? They're so soft.
oh my God, they're so amazing. And every new, like when I first tried these .03s, I didn't like them the first 2 days, but I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, listen, self, you know how this goes. It's just because you're used to this. Just do it. And I always make myself, I'll force myself to do, like what I used to do is I would order, I don't like mixed trays when I first order because you can't get a feel for it. So what I would do is I would get like, what do I go through quickest? A 12, right? I go through 12s the quickest. So I would get a box of the .03 12s. You can't tell the difference when you're mixing them with .04s.
Mhm.
So I would just, okay, for the next whatever 12 strips, I'm going to use only the .03s for my 12s. And that's how I get used to a new lash. And that's what I recommend for other people, because you could do like what, a couple clients with a mixed tray. I don't know.
Mhm. Yeah, well, that's actually a good example because I feel like when somebody asks me like, "Hey, I want to try the SocoLashes, but I don't
Yeah.
know like what to get." I always recommend to get mixed trays Like I always
Yeah.
tell them, get two mixed trays because at least that'll give you one or two clients to work with and you get a feel for them, you know?
Yeah.
But trying it out that way and then mixing it with lashes that you previously, already used, I think that's a really good way.
And then you're not scared because you're not committing to it. You're just trying it. It's like, and when you're mixing one size, you can't tell the difference, especially when you're doing 0.04 to 0.03. If you're just blending them in, you can't tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I've actually done a set with the point 0.4 and point 0.3, and honestly,
Oh
they're
my
so
God,
beautiful. Yes.
so crazy. I know. It's cool.
Okay, so I did want to ask you, what is your number one selling product that everybody is just crazy for?
A while. I mean, we just ordered the largest order of our glue. We got it a week ago, and I'm like, where did the other box go? We're out. We're almost out. So we had to call a girl. I'm like, we have to up this. So now, in the beginning, I said, okay, when we get like big, how many adhesives are we going to sell a month? Like just so we can kind of plan for it. And she said, you'll sell roughly about this much. And we're halfway there. We're halfway to like, this is crazy. And it just like, it all of a sudden boomed. And this is so cool because I I was like, I wish I could focus more on my business because when I do, I can talk to more people and really explain things. And this adhesive, you have to be quick. It's a speed adhesive. But if you can speed lash, uh, the first time using it, you're like, what the hell? Is this what? Okay, this is too good to be true. It's not going to hold. And then your clients come back in 2 weeks and you're like, what? Yeah. So, yeah, the stay a while by far. And I'll give you another secret because it's you. We're launching our slower drying stay a while. So this took, probably been working on this one since maybe a couple months after the traditional. So a little over a year, but we wanted the same retention, the same hold, but a little bit thinner viscosity, which means it will dry, naturally dry a bit slower so that lash artists who weren't quite as um, experienced with the speed glue could still experience the same retention, a little bit easier to work with because it dries slower, but it's done, it's finished. So we're just waiting to launch that and that's going to come out. We have a lot of new things coming.
That
Yeah.
is literally a beginner lash artist dream right there.
No, I couldn't believe it. Anytime, my poor clients, anytime I try a new product, I'm like, we're gonna do a new product today, and they're like, oh fuck, really? So they get it all, and they know I'm not gonna do them wrong. But yeah, I had all of my clients. I mean, if somebody were to say please don't, I wouldn't. But I don't think anybody cared because they trusted me. And so I had, probably like 60 clients or so in Sonoma County, and thanks to them, everybody has, hands-on experience from me I usually try it for like, I want to say 2 to 3 months. And then like I used to send it to the girls that I worked with in my hometown. And then maybe like 4 to 6 months, depending on, how comfortable I was launching it. We test it for a long time before we launch it because we want to make sure that it's consistent.
Yes.
And if it's a new supplier, that they're consistent, because my biggest fear is ordering something, getting everybody hooked on it, and then getting the completely different product in 6 months. I'm like, what just happened? And then your company falls apart, right?
Yes. Yes,
So
exactly. I am excited about that. I feel like, girl, you are about to blow up because I feel like when it comes to beginner lash artists, and I get a lot of girls asking me what is the best glue, and I have to turn them away from that glue because it's so fast, it's so fast. And I know when I first got introduced into your glue, it was still too fast for me, but that's what helped me improve my speed, and that's what I always tell.
yeah, that's like 1 to 2 years in, I think, unfortunately. Okay, so here I'll explain something to you. So some people don't understand. I'm fast. I'm like, well, you're not fast enough. I'm telling you, you're not fast enough. And some people don't want to hear that. But how I explain it, when you blow out a candle and you have that top layer of the wax that starts to dry, that's what happens if you lash too slow. When you dip your adhesive into the I'm so sorry. When you dip your fan, or extension into the adhesive and you don't place it quick enough, it's already started to form that layer. So it's got the shell and then you're adhering to that. So you're adhering to glue that's already dried. It's
Yes.
not, you have to pre-isolate, dip and go. And people that think they're that they're quick enough, it makes me so sad because they're unhappy with it and they think that it's the product. But this, we were going to call it Not So Fast, but I changed my mind. You'll see what I'll tell you after we hang up, but
Okay.
I'm really excited. It's really cute.
Oh.
So yeah, it's going to change our customer base because now we can introduce some beginner lash artists to stay a while, collection of adhesive.
Yes. See, and that's one thing too, is that I have to explain to girls that this glue is like fast. Like it is fast. It's not your typical glue, you know? So for a beginner lash artist to be introduced to a glue that is similar to that, but that works for them, that is a total game changer right there.
Totally. Oh yeah. Yep. 100%.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, what is one tip you could give us to any of us that are trying to start our own lash brand?
Like as far as a brand or like grow a clientele?
A brand.
Brand. Okay. Save some money
Mm-hmm.
and say yes to everybody. And the thing that I learned was that you just really, really have to want to do it. And I want to say I probably wasted maybe, oh God, 20 to 25,000 in shitty product and shitty suppliers. And you just have to be okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
And fortunately, I had a lot of money saved, and my savings account, I think I had like 2,000 left in my savings account. That's it. And I had almost depleted it, and I was close. I was like, this is just, I was sick to my stomach. I had wasted, like I said, it was like 20 to 25,000 because you have to, there's how many messages do you get a day from people saying, try our products?
Nonstop.
So I got to a place where I just said yes to everybody. And you can't order a mixed tray, you guys. You have to order 3 of each. And like the shipping, they're like, oh, theirs are all free. And then it's like 150 in shipping. You're like, what? So you have to say yes to everything. And this was horrible. I found I don't remember what product it was. I think it was I want to say it was like a 0.05. Oh my God, amazing. Well, when they send you these samples, they don't write their information on it. Okay. So sometimes I'd get like 10 a day and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go again. All my poor clients trying new stuff. So I'd have them all lined up and I found the lash, didn't know what company it was. So I had to start all over.
Oh no.
So it's like just staying extremely organized, staying motivated, and you're going to have to do a lot of your clients' lashes over for free, which I was sick of because I would try adhesives, I would try lashes, and then they would go completely flat, right? And I'm like, what the hell? What the hell? So I would have to do everybody that week over. And how do you do that? You do it. So have a full clientele that lets you practice on them and save like as much money as you can and say yes to everybody. Remember who your suppliers are. And after you find them, I would not launch them for a minimum of 3 months because I'm telling you, I have had a couple lines. The first 2 shipments were amazing. And then the third one, it was like this shiny plastic. I'm like, what, this is not what I was using. It won't even pinch. No, it's the same. That's the same. And I'm like, by then I already invested like $2,000 with this company. And it's it. That's done. You're toast. So I guess cry a lot. It was really hard. I almost gave up.
So if you were to go back in time and change one thing differently, like what would you do differently?
I would have started SocoLashes day one when I wanted to, but I waited. I put it off 2 years because I was scared to waste the money.
Mm-hmm.
And you know,
It's okay.
I was just scared. And, you know, at the time I probably really didn't even have the money to do it. But I could have still started. I could have spent 5,000, you know, instead. And don't get discouraged. But I guess just keep going. Have money to spend and waste, because you're going to waste a lot of money. And our products, every different cup item, every different diameter, every different uh, um, liquid, they're all from different suppliers, because one person has incredible glue, but they don't have a good sensitive glue, or one person has a great wash. And our wash was hard because I'm like, no, I don't want it in a foam pump. I don't want a foam pump. I don't like that. Everybody else does that. I want it to look different. I want it to be different. And it's just branch out, because here's one thing. If you order everything from one company and that company goes under, all of these companies are small. If they go belly up, you are so fucked. So every different product that you have, you're going to have, like, how many products do we have? 30. We have 30 something different suppliers. And hire somebody, because I was to the point where I couldn't do everything myself. It's expensive, and having to pay somebody to do this, and it's cool once you finally get it, though. But
That's your baby.
here's the thing, though. I think, number one, it takes a lot of work, a lot of money, but I also think it also takes a little bit of luck. You get that one lucky break and you're in. So hard work mixed with luck, I guess. I don't know, because honestly, like, yes, you can have that. Okay, here's another instance. With my Instagram, I started with, it was like, oh gosh, I want to say 340 something followers. I don't know what it was that I did. I don't know what I did, but I had, it was 1 year and I hit 25,000 followers from 340 something. And I'm like, obvious. And that's another reason why I started the product. I'm like, I think I can do that, because people trust me, because I'm honest and I'm transparent. And don't be fucking mean to people. When people ask you a question and DM you, fucking answer your messages. Don't leave them on red, because guess what? They're going to remember you were the person that didn't help them, And it's like, if you want to start a product line, you are now in the business of helping people. Yep. So change your mindset. And I used to always say, like, you're really, like, I've had clients, students that would fly out from other states to come in and be trained. And I remember in particular, there was one girl that was like, I'm not going to respond. I was like, well, why not? Well, I'm not telling her my secrets. I'm like, but you're afraid of Jessica from Oregon stealing your clients? You guys, just anybody that has that mindset, you're not going to do well, because people, not only do you have to be authentic, you actually have to genuinely want to help people.
Yes.
It has to shift. You have to shift from growing my business and me and my clientele to helping people. And at that time, I owned a salon. And so I was already in the mindset of helping people and, giving clients to people. And I don't know, I guess I've always been like that. And don't get me wrong, you sometimes you get that, like, how is she full? And I have 3 clients today. Of course you're going to get that. But, don't be fucking mean. How about that?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I feel like that's very important, because I've noticed that, being in this industry for how long, there's just some rude people. Like, you ask them, like, oh my God, your set is so beautiful. Like, how did you do that? Like, just a simple question, and they, like, completely blow you off. So it's weird. It's really weird that I get a bunch of girls telling me, like, wow, like, you're always on top of answering my questions. Like, you never leave me on red. And I'm like, how? Yeah. And I'm like, why is it so hard for people to share? Like, there's nothing wrong. Like, everything is already out in the open. Like, everybody says, if you're not going to tell them here, another person's going to go and find it somewhere else, So it's like, why keep it to yourself? Like, there's no secrets.
For me, when somebody didn't want to tell me something, I'm like, I'm going to figure it out. And if you want it bad enough, they're going to figure it out. And they're going to remember that you didn't help them. Yeah. And I would rather be the person that helps somebody. And, like, it's funny, because just the other day I had somebody say, like, I've been following you since you had, like, less than 1,000 followers. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but when somebody would ask me, I'd be like, okay, I don't know, but try this or try this. And even if it didn't help them, they're like, the reason I buy your products is because you always helped me. And if you didn't know, you would be like, let me get back to you tomorrow. I'm going to ask somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that kindness gets you really far, you guys, because I always like my students when they're learning, and I can attest to this as well. When I first started lashing, do you think that I was any good? No, nobody wants to help you. There's no local courses that you can take. You have to travel for any courses. And my clients stuck with me because they liked me. And even though like the girl next door did lashes 10 times better than I did, they're like, oh, I know that you're going to be good. Don't worry. I'll hang tight. I'll come in on Sunday because they didn't hold, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that kindness goes a long way.
It really does. It really
Yeah.
does, because you know, if you're trying to, especially as a beginner lash artist, if you're trying to attract clients and you're a rude person, they're gonna tell right away.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
So that being said, I wanted to ask you, what was your vision behind SocoLashes? Like before you started and then now, like what has changed within your vision?
Okay, so in the very beginning, I was like struggling to find a way for the company to stand out because it's like, okay, this company has this color, this company does this thing, this company does this. So I'm like, stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Like, and I was like, what are you obsessed with? I love plants. I love traveling. I love animals. I love all. So I'm like listing all of these things. And then I would like have this notebook written down. I'm like, okay, here's my idea notebook. And then I would go back to it. And then I'd be like, it was Christmas. And I like wrapping presents in that craft paper with the twine. And I was like, what if we did, can you do that? And then I started doing research on the plastic, and I found out that that plastic tray that you buy, you cannot recycle that. Sure, you can recycle it. They say it's plastic. No, you can't. It costs more money to recycle that plastic tray that everybody's lashes come in than to recreate it. Do you think overseas, where everything is done cheap, do you think that they're going to pay it's 3 times the amount to recycle and reproduce? Do you think that's going to happen? No. So then I was like, oh, okay, there's like a bigger picture. Like we could do biodegradable, and nobody did it. So um, I took a big leap, like financial. I didn't even know if anybody was going to like how it looked, but it was, I want to say the plastic trays were like 30 something cents for the plastic tray. And then they didn't charge extra for the paper tray if you did it. So then when I got those boxes, it was, I want to say between $1.80 to, it was like $2.09 per box per tray that it would cost me extra. Plus they didn't include the tray anymore, so I had to buy that. So it was, I mean, we're placing orders and now it's like multiplying our overhead. So again, spending a lot of money, but it was the only thing that this industry needed and that it was lacking. So we took a big leap of faith and hoped that people appreciated it, and they did.
It was so worth it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that when you're passionate about something or you really have an idea and people see that you stand behind it, it's kind of like people are drawn to it, you know?
Yes, because I
Yeah.
know when you rebranded
Yeah.
everything, it was a big difference from your original first packaging, which was the white and the pink and the black with the flowers, to
So
just,
that was still the biodegradable packaging.
okay, I didn't know that.
The unicorn lash tray, that was still biodegradable. But when we rebranded, I wanted everything to have that feel. Like I wanted it to look like,
Rustic.
yeah, just like natural, clean.
Yeah, yeah. And a lot of people appreciate that, just because
Yeah.
it's kind of the trend now, because everybody is more focused on the planet and the well-being of others, you know. So the fact that you're going that route, it's like a big difference compared to what other brands are doing, you know.
We have talked about that before. Like, isn't that funny that we started doing this and then a year later it started becoming trendy, which is, I mean, that there you go. There's an example of luck that I was saying. You need luck.
Yes, I think you're on the right path.
And that's my boyfriend. He's like the brains behind it. He does all the hard stuff that I can't do.
Ah, so we all the thanks to him. Okay.
The ordering, all of like the difficult tax things that I don't know how to do. He has 2 master's degrees. I tell everybody that. And he understands the business side that I have no interest in even wanting to understand.
You're just the face. He's the brains.
I think that my title would be founder and product marketing and design. That's where I think I am now.
Okay. You've been showing us little sneak peeks of your upcoming salon.
Yes.
Yes. So obviously you're trying to keep the same thing going as your packaging, right? Is there one thing that you are most excited about when it comes to your salon?
Yeah, like, so I know a lot of people in this industry. Um if I'm in an environment that isn't aesthetically relaxing to me, I can't work, I can't focus, it puts me in a bad mood. So I want, when somebody walks in, I want them to be like, oh,
Yes.
how did you do that? Where did you get that? And then, oh my gosh, I love this. So that's what I want. And like, I like neutrals. I'm like monochromatic, like whites, light gray. And my pop of color, I like to be like the natural browns and greens, which is like plant. So
Yes. Are you gonna have like a green wall like how you had in your previous spot? No! Oh my goodness, I love that.
I'm going to do something similar, but everybody has that now, and I don't want to blend in. I want to be a little bit different. Yes, but it's going to be different than you think.
Oh, I can't wait. So how long till we
Are we thinking November 1st when this new salon's going to be open?
November.
No, I think we're shooting for November 1st. We're not taking any shortcuts, and literally when a building's just old and it smells.
mm,
We like I did it. He took everything down, even the drywall. So we are literally started from scratch. We walked in and we're like, hey, let's rip the floor up. And then I came back and I was like, what the hell? There's no drywall. There was no bathroom. All there was 2x4s, no toilet, no sink. And I'm like,
what?
but I mean, now everything's going to be brand new. But it's going to be, I'll give you a hint. We're going to have brick. We're going to have like the gray brick. We're going to have shiplap everywhere. We're going to have German schmear over the brick. We're going to have plants everywhere. And we have a cement wall. We have, it's going to be cool. It's going to be really pretty.
I can't wait. So you better do like a whole walkthrough when you're done.
We're taking pictures as we do it as well. So at the end, we're going to do a little video of, the progress.
I can't wait. So I wanted to ask you if you have any questions for me.
Yeah, sure. Okay. If you could change, critique some of the product. If there's something in the product line that you think needs to change or that we don't have, what would it be?
I did want to ask you, you're not doing the split tips anymore, right?
What? They didn't sell well.
Really?
And they're twice as expensive as any other.
They were my favorites.
Well, you know what? Maybe we'll try and, you want to try and bring them back? Split tip. He just said, yeah, we can bring it back. If they sell well, we'll keep it.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to sell the hell out of it.
Yeah. Well, I think that there were like a good amount of people, but it like wasn't enough to keep it going. But then again, remember that was like a year ago, and nobody really knew who we were. So
yes, I feel like now that your brand is a lot bigger, I feel like you could actually promote the hell out of it. And it could, I mean, it's different. And that's one thing I loved about it, because when you would actually blend it in with the 0.4s, it was beautiful.
That's why I didn't understand. I'm like, why are these not flying off the shelf?
Right. And that's one product that I will like talk about all the time. Like, you guys need these classic lashes. They're not like anything else out there. And on top of it too, like, they don't feel like plastic. They're so soft. They're so beautiful. So I feel like that's one thing that I really miss.
I never understood. I'm like, what the hell? And I would show these pictures and they would be like, I thought they were like incredible examples of what you could do with them. And I would have somebody order like a mixed tray or like, I don't know, not enough to keep it in stock. That's for sure.
Aww.
Remember And yeah, actually, I have another question for you. What made you start wanting to try our products?
The lens.
Really?
It was the lens, yes, because I don't even know how I ran into your account. And it was when you had barely launched your Soco lens, and you were like at that point where you were gonna launch your glue and all that. So I've been following you throughout the whole process. And and the one thing that really like that I really connected with you was that you were the one person that actually talk back to me. Like if I had a question, you would be right there on top of it, like answering my questions. And yeah, so that's why I was just like this girl is so cool, you know, she is so cool. So when I bought the lens, and oh my god, I loved it. And everybody would always be like, oh, how do you take your pictures? I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
so cool. And when you launch your glue, that was like a big change for me. Like it completely, yes, it completely changed everything for me, given that I was still fairly new. But the fact that I was like, I'm gonna get this down like one way and another, and that glue just, it turned everything, like it changed everything for me.
Same for me. Are you kidding? Like, again, like I didn't think that, and we got really lucky with the glue. The glue we found, I think it was like maybe our first 3 months we found it, and I was like, that's why I said it was like, is this real? This is like the unicorn glue. Oh my god, you know? It was
It's
consistent.
rare.
I never. I mean, I know that there are people that live in humid locations, so you have to use a humid glue. If you walk outside and it's like sticky, you have to use a humid glue during that time of the year. But anywhere else, you don't have to change your glue.
Yes.
You use the same adhesive all year round, and if you get the glue and it's thick and chunky, it means it's not fresh. We get a fresh batch every single month, sometimes more, depending on how many we order. And they're being sold old glue. That's
Yeah.
what's happening. And people don't want to waste money, and they're just completely compromising the credibility of their business.
Yes.
Throw it away.
Yes, I feel like I've never had any problems with your glue. Like even me, like I live in Vegas and it's so dry here, and the glue has never given me any problems ever.
You know, it's interesting because I just moved from the Bay Area of California to Northern California. And it's interesting because the lashes here, it's kind of more like, I guess, desert. They last longer. The people here go like on average 3 weeks. So it just shows like a drier environment, they do hold better.
Yes.
So that's something that I've found that was different.
Yes, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy because it's weird because a lot of girls will be like, "Oh, I'm like in a humid place and this is happening." I'm just like, why is that happening? Like that's never happened to me, you know? And it's probably because I'm really lucky to be living in Vegas and I hardly struggle with it.
And you know, with the humidity, I think what people don't realize, so it doesn't matter what kind of glue you use. The traditional adhesive, the best is room temperature. So people are like, what, how hot is that? I'm like, just use your body. If you're warm, turn the AC up. If you don't have AC, it's just gonna dry quicker.
Yeah.
So I lost my train of thought again. I'm sorry. We were talking about the adhesive. Oh, humidity. So if you live in humidity, you have to use a humidity adhesive. If it's still not working for you, it could be a little too humid. You're placing it too slow. That's where the primer and sealer comes in. If you're in a humid place, you have to have sealer. You have to, without a doubt. It's too wet, so it takes so long to dry. So while it's like a soggy gummy bear drying and you rub, you just completely put all of these, anytime you move it before it's 100% dry, you're putting all of these teeny tiny little air bubbles and inconsistencies in your bond. So imagine 100 teeny tiny little bubbles, and between that bond, it's not going to hold. So you 100% sealer, a must, 100% in humidity. And a human glue is just not enough. You're trying to defy physics, and thankfully they have products for that. But if they're like, well, I don't want to buy extra products. Well, your client's lashes aren't going to hold. And then with sealer, primer, for people that don't understand, primer works after it's dried. You're going to paint your client's lashes. You wait for it to dry completely. Depending on your room, it could be a few minutes. What happens with the primer is once it's dried, it leaves like this residue on your lashes. And it's like, think of it as teeny tiny dust. And once the adhesive, the wet adhesive touches that residue, it immediately starts to dry from the inside out. So it's like this immediate, like, and it starts to dry. So that gives you a little bit of a head start so that as you're working, and let's say your humid environment, at least this part right here, it's dry, you've got it. And then the sealer works when it's wet from the inside out. So you don't want to flood the lash line. You just want to get it wet, maybe tap a paper towel to get all of that, as much extra adhesive sealer out of it. And you just want it to be slightly damp. People that flood the lash line, they're going to lose all their clients' lashes. They're not going to hold. So that's how you properly use a primer and a sealer. And I think a lot of people just don't know that. And not every sealer works with every glue. I'm like a product junkie, so I'll order other people's products and try ours with theirs, and it doesn't always work well. I don't obviously know what's in everybody's glue. I know our sealer has been used with, I want to say the Ruthie Bell adhesive and the Lashbox adhesive. I don't know that Orboletta, and it works great. But I'm like, just use our whole product line together, because it's all meant to work together. And we had somebody create the sealer to work with that specifically. And our glue is different than other people's glue. It's not the same portions of what it normally is. So it's made up very differently. All of our glues are.
Okay. Since we are talking about sealer, I feel like that product alone with the Stay a While glue just took my retention like off the roof, given that I already had good retention with the glue. I wanted to ask you, what is in your sealer? Because it smells amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I can't get over it.
You know, we have our SoCo sealer scent. It's funny because I originally wanted a coconut or vanilla, because those are my favorite. And like, I like the color of coconut and vanilla. And I was thinking if we did the package, it would go with the brand. And she was like, I'm going to send you something, because I think you're really going to like this. And I was like, oh shit, I like it. So, yeah, it's actually, I think it's some, oh gosh, I want to say it's like watermelon citrus or something like that, pineapple watermelon or something. But yeah, I was like, oh, I like it.
It smells so good. If you could make that in a perfume, I would wear it all day.
No, or like hand sanitizer at least, right? I know. Mm-hmm. Because remember, scent is the biggest trigger to memory. So when they smell, it's what is it like? I need to ask what it is. It's like watermelon, pineapple, or something like that. That's gonna remind them of their lashes.
Yes. All my clients, once I'm done, I pull out the tape, everything, and I start putting the sealer. They're like, "This is the best part." I'm like, "Yes, I love the smell. It's so good."
I like it too. Thank you. I'm so happy you like it.
I love it. Okay, so I want to ask you, what is one thing that you would recommend to any beginner lash artist starting off in their journey? Because I know earlier you had mentioned, starting your own lash brand as like not giving up, starting when you want to. But it kind of applies to, what you would say to a beginner lash artist. But what is one thing that you tell, like when somebody takes your course, like what do you tell them?
Do you mean like as far as mastering their art, or like growing their clientele?
Whatever you tell.
Okay, so first of all, if you work by yourself and you're the only lash artist at your location and you're new, you're not in the right location. You have to have people who are happy to teach you and let you watch them, because I'm telling you, everybody lashes just a little differently. And I would watch people and I would be like, why did you just do that? And they would say, oh, I did it because of this. And I would be like, well, that doesn't make sense. And then I would compare to the other person, and then eventually it would click. But even if it's something, same with classes, like I'm a class junkie, I like education. So when I take a course, I'm like, if I can learn one thing from this course, even if it's the angle of my wrist, or how they position the head, or how the tone of their voice that they respond to their client, might seem silly, but these teeny tiny little things make a huge difference. And sometimes you're going to take an advanced volume class and you're like, well, I didn't really learn anything. Well, you met some people, you made some connections, and you did learn something. You learned something. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I've had people take our course and say, well, I didn't learn anything. And then I would go on their page and see their work, and I'm like, yes, you did, because I just checked out your work. And like one person, I said, I just looked at your work. And I said, I'm going to give you some criticism and maybe you don't want it, but I will. I said, I think you'd really benefit if you actually took the time to practice and do what I'm teaching you, because your work is going to improve tremendously. Pay attention. If you're frustrated, that doesn't mean you're not learning anything. It just means you need to take a break. And with the online training, it can be frustrating because, you know, they're a fraction of the cost because we're not there helping you. So any online training, it's totally, even if you're newer, it's okay. You just have to have somebody helping you. Ask questions. And you can ask, like, I'll answer questions, but it's not going to be like an in-person mentor where somebody is going to show you, to let you feel the amount of pressure. Or like, you know, when I'm doing an in-person training, I always say, like, look at how much pressure I'm on my fingers. Pay attention to what part is white on my fingers. That's how hard I'm squeezing my tweezer. That's how I want you to squeeze your tweezer. Things like that that you can't teach over verbiage with, you know, internet.
Mm-hmm.
So have somebody that you trust, and when you outgrow a place, it's time to move on, because, you know, people stay stagnant in salons that are stunting their growth. And you have to remember, it's just business. And if you want to succeed, sometimes you're going to have to do things that other people might think are shitty or selfish. But if they're not supporting you and letting you grow, if they have nothing to offer you, it's just business. They have nothing to offer you. So don't outgrow your spot. Don't get stagnant. Continued education. And like for me, I'm like, I want a certificate from every different area, because every different company, everybody does it differently. And now as an educator, that's more important than it's ever been. As far as building a clientele. Okay, so I did nails before. So I was very fortunate that a lot of my clients just let me practice, but I did them for free because I didn't know what I was doing. And when they would get fills, I would give them a 2-hour fill for $25. So if you are new and you don't want to give your time away so that you could do your clients and get free education, that it's never going to work. And I hear people say all the time, charge what you're worth, don't give things away for free. Okay, I understand that. But if you think that you're way up here and you're not, people are going to get pissed. And like so many people that have been in the industry for a year, I'll train them. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, I get it. And they start charging more than I charge. And I'm like, I'm a master lash artist, and I think value yourself appropriately. If you're the best lash artist in the entire world and you've been doing lashes for a year, it doesn't really mean much unless you're going to move to LA and work on celebrities. If you're not going to advance where you are, you kind of have to. Seniority plays a role, and people don't know who you are. So even if you're the best, you still have to work up your reputation. People have to find out who you are. And then if you really are the best, give it a year or two, and then people will really see it. But I think over or undervaluing yourself, and learning to tuck your tail when to do people for free or for inexpensive, because you don't know what you're doing. Growing your clientele. We lived in a college town. So I think I had like 6 or 7 college students who were really, really pretty. And they were really good at social media. They would get like 300 likes on their photos. And I was like, you know what? I can use this to my advantage. So I chose clients who had a lot of followers and who got a lot of foot traffic on their social media page. And I came up with this thing and I said, I'm going to start a SocoLashes rep program. And this was long before the company started. And so what happened, I think I had like 8 girls. And I said, there were rules. You have to come every 2 weeks. You can't push it. If you're going on vacation, you have to come in a week. You can't go over 2 weeks because your lashes need to look good. They would get a 2-hour fill for half the price of a standard 60-minute fill. So I think that they paid like $45 for a 2-hour fill. So they were basically getting a new set every time. They always looked amazing. When they came, they checked in. If I tagged them in something, they had to share it on their story, not on their page. If they took a selfie, I'm like, just tag me in it. They would tag me in it. They would have to tag me in at least a minimum of, I think it was 2 to 3 posts a week or stories. And one of them had to be on their story, like, oh my God, my lashes, just mention them once a week. So that's 4 a month. So imagine how quickly that grew. I had, I think, 8 girls who had, I mean, they would get like 300 to 600 likes on their photo, depending on which girl it was. And they were doing maybe 4 posts a week. They would check in, and then people would say, who does your lashes? So imagine how quickly I filled up, I think in like 2 months. And I was like, okay, I just started to not master, but I was very comfortable with volume. So 2 months, I was full with the wait list. And it's free. It doesn't really cost anything except time, which when you don't have a clientele, that's all you have. You have all the time in the world.
That's actually a very great idea, because I get a lot of girls asking me, how do I build up my clientele? But I'm at that stage where I'm still doing it, and especially now with COVID, I lost a lot of clients because of what happened. So I'm at that stage where I'm rebuilding again. So that's actually a very, very great idea. And especially for people who really need it, especially for beginner lash artists who really, really need it to build up the clientele.
And here's the thing, for beginner, you're not going to be where you need to be for at least a year if you're there 40 hours a week, which when you're new, you don't have that. So realistically, it's going to take you about 2 years to really get where you want. So don't rush getting better. Like, take your time. Yeah. Because you'll miss the tiny steps. You'll lose the art. What was the last thing I said?
Don't lose the artistry. Don't lose the artist. Don't lose the art.
Rush and worried about making money, you lose the art, and you'll start focusing on money, 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 which I had made that mistake before. And are you leaving? No. And if you're not enjoying every minute of this, it's not going to be the industry for you. You have to enjoy doing things for free sometimes and creating. And it's just with anything, if you don't love what you're doing, you're never going to master it. And if you love it, it doesn't matter. Eventually you will master it. It's like, what else do you like? What's something that you like?
I used to draw a lot. Like, I love portraits. I love drawing portraits of people.
So if you found the right teacher, you could learn how to do the most incredible portraits, right? And if you just stick to it, eventually you can charge whatever you want. You can charge that premium price. If you like riding horses, then learn everything there is to know about horses. Then become a trainer and dedicate your life to that. And eventually you will be the person that people bring their rich children 3 hours each way once a week to ride with you, because you are that person. You will master something and people will know who you are. You just have to be patient.
Yes. It takes time. It really does. I feel like too, when it comes to speed, that's one thing that me and you have talked a lot about, is speed and timing. And I feel like it's not important if you really think about it. Speed is not important. I mean, time is not important, because if you're too busy worrying and stressing about how much time it's taking you to do a full set, then you are not enjoying the process. And that's one thing that I love to do, is I like to book myself 3 to 4 hours to finish a full set, because it gives me enough time to do my thing and actually enjoy it. But if you're giving yourself 1 hour, like,
oh gosh, yeah. I can't even full set that I am happy with pre-mades in an hour. For me, I love inner lashes. I love them. I like, some clients are so hard. I've taken 40 minutes on somebody's inner lashes. I mean, I would go pretty far, and it depends on when they start to, that vellus hair starts to turn into thicker hair. But
yeah,
these inner lashes that like curl in, and then when you touch their eye, they're like, stop it. So it depends on, I don't know, there are no clients that are like.
yes. Okay, so oh. Okay, so I feel like we are going a little over time. I wanted to ask you if there's any last, tips or tricks that you want to share with us.
Tips and tricks. Okay, I would say the biggest thing that helped me was pre-isolating, because that's going to pick up your speed. You isolate, you're going to so I pinch, pre-make your fan, isolate, dip, place. That's going to help you with your speed. But other than that, speed will come. Um, Listen when your clients are telling you something, listen, because there are going to be clients who have nothing to offer but complaining they don't take care of their lashes. But there are also going to be clients who might teach you something that is going to be extremely valuable, and you're going to understand why their lashes didn't hold, why there was a sensitivity, why A, B, C, D, E. You're going to learn something. So listen. And the biggest thing, don't take offense. If somebody isn't happy with their lashes, listen to them. And like, so for us, when we have people complaining about product, my instant reaction was to be like, well, you don't know how to use it. I have to say, like, my friends that own Ula Lux, it's this amazing boutique. They have online stores and 3 in-person stores. They were my mentors, whether they knew it or not. I'm sure that they know. But they would teach me things like that. Would be like, well, I know, if I would say like, how do you deal with this? And she put it into perspective. Well, I know that when I'm paraphrasing, this is not what she said, but when I ordered my $300 plant pot from West Elm and it came broken and I did not break it, I want to know that they're going to take care of me and they're going to send me a new one and things like that. And I was like, that is why West Elm is above everybody, is because they take care of their customers, you know? And like it customer service is kindness, and that's what's going to keep your business. That's why we're growing so quickly, is because I'm not like, okay, yeah, what does she need? I really care. And you know, when we make a mistake, I always say, oh my God, I'm so sorry, this is my fault. I know that for you guys depend on us. So if we fuck up, or if we accidentally send you the wrong glue or something, this affects your income. And you have to think of that, like with clients, this affects how they feel about themselves. This is going to affect their mood. This is going to affect their, what's the word I'm looking for? Their, how they feel about themselves, self-esteem. And you never want somebody to leave feeling worse than when they came in. And, you know, people come to you because they want to feel better about themselves, or they want to make life easier on themselves. And just remember why people are coming to you. And the bigger reason, you know, I started this industry. I'll tell you one quick story. I know we're going over, but in beauty school, my very first day of beauty school in 2002, they went around the class and they're like, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to do this? And I was like, I'm going to make money. I'm going to make hella money, and I'm going to blah, blah. I'm going to buy my first house, blah, blah, blah. And then the girl after me, she was like, I love making people feel good about themselves. And there is like this amount of joy, and talked about how when people feel good about themselves because of what she did, it gives her this fulfillment and satisfaction. And I was like, can I start over? And I was like, you just totally changed my mindset. Yep. And that is why I'm here. I love making people feel good about themselves. We're underpaid psychiatrists, you guys. We make them feel good on the outside and on the inside. And just try not to lose sight of why people come to you. And again, if you're not the best lash artist, they're going to come to you because emotionally what you can give to them. And just remember that, you know, you're really important to them, and you're their only lash artist. You know, they're your one of 75 clients. So, I mean, if you're busy, unfortunately, sometimes it's like you get to feel like they're a number, and you're their one and only. So remember, to them, you're their friend. They invite you. I'm invited to weddings, baby showers, when my clients have babies, to the hospital, birthday parties for their kids, even if my kids aren't the same age, because they want me to be there, you know, because you're Auntie Jen. And really, really important to these people's lives. And it goes far beyond doing their eyelashes. It's so emotional. They trust you with their face, you know? They trust you with their secrets. They trust you with their emotional well-being. And it goes so far beyond doing your client's eyelashes. And don't forget that.
I think kindness goes a long way,
Yeah.
especially being a lash artist. Because I remember I had this one girl. She was very nice at first, but then she ended up telling me that she smokes weed before her clients because she feels like she's gonna kill them if she doesn't smoke weed, and that she can't handle the shit, and just very blunt about everything. I was just like, do you not love what you do? Like, I feel like, exactly what you said. Like, when it comes to being a lash artist, it's not just about putting lashes on somebody and making a quick buck.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
way more than that, especially when they open their eyes and they're like, perf, when they say little things like that, it's
And
like,
when your clients are coming back to you and their lashes still look bomb and they don't even need to fill and they're like, oh my God, I can't wait to tell you. Tell me when you're ready to hear my story. Like you're their friend. And you just have to remember it's like you're so important to your clients. And even though it's easy to lose sight of um, how important you are to them, it's just try to remember that.
mm,
Huge. Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, man.
Well, I had fun talking to you and finally meeting you. I want to thank you, like, really just sit down and thank you, because you were the first person that actually believed in me.
Oh my
And
God, so
you
sweet.
were, I know, because I remember when I started using your products and when I signed up to be a rep for you, and then you asked me to be an ambassador, like, I legit cried, because to me, that was like somebody actually sees my work, somebody actually appreciates the time and effort that I do. And to hear kind words like your work is good, that meant a lot to me. So I want to thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, like I know we tell each other all the time we could go back and forth like I'm lucky to have you, no I'm lucky to have you, no I'm lucky to have you. I really do feel blessed to have you, and you were the only person that I kept, and it's like your clients, it goes way far beyond how amazing of a lash artist you are. Emotionally I feel like you fulfill something that I need, and I just think that you're such an amazing representation of the company, and I really have enjoyed watching you grow. I mean, you
Yeah.
think about a year ago to now, crazy. It's
It's
crazy.
it's I feel like I've come a long way, and it's crazy because I look back and I'm just like, wow, like this is me now. Like, I lash like this. It's crazy. Like, it blows my mind. But it's all your products. Like, I feel like I would never be where I am today without your products, because your products completely changed everything for me. And it's mostly your support. Your love and your support is what guides me every day, and you're like literally my inspiration. You motivate me to get better. So thank you.
That makes me feel good.
Oh, thank you. Okay, so I think that pretty much wraps up today's video. I think we went a little overboard, but I enjoyed every second of it. I feel like this is exactly what I needed, because I learned so much from you, and everything that you mentioned, I am going to apply to my business and see where that goes. I also wanted to mention, I love the mirror behind you.
Thank you. It's anthropology.
That
Actually,
mirror is so cute.
I have another one coming for the new salon, but it's so because I'm going cool tones.
I
So
love it. It's so
we
cute.
fucking die. It's so cute. My head's oh my god, it's
Aw,
amazing. Yeah,
aw.
you're gonna be so jealous. I
I'm already jealous.
just want it to be a good representation of the company.
Yeah, yeah, I'm excited for you. You deserve every single bit, because your hard work is definitely is a motivation to everybody.
Everything is coming to fruition, and I think like I just, anyways, I like I said, I'll just keep blabbing. But I feel like this is a dream. I feel like this is like too good to be true, and I'm like so thankful to have somebody like you behind our company. And you're about to have a handful more of Soco sisters. And remember, I said we're keeping tight knit and small. And something that I really want to do is do like a yearly retreat for, I think I want to max at like eight girls. So just to do a yearly retreat that all of us can get together, and SocoLashes pays for the place. You guys just have to get there, and it's gonna be incredible.
That would be so much fun. I need a vacation.
Me too. I'm like, we never stop. Oh my God. Yeah.
You're always on the go. I love that. I feel like that's one thing that I learned from you, is to keep going, and never stop working. But love the process, love every second of it. And I feel like through your business, your company, and your products, it shows that you literally put your heart in everything. And I love that.
I keep literally, these are my notepads. They're always next to me. They're in my purse. And when I have my hand notebook in my purse because if I don't write it down, it's never gonna happen. Oh, that's another trick. Write your ideas down.
Okay, well, thank you, Jenna, for giving me the time and sit down with me and chat with me. And this is literally the best birthday present anybody could give me. Thank you.
Have a wonderful birthday. Let me know if you need anything, okay?
Okay, thanks, babe. I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Guys, how was Jenna? Isn't she amazing? Don't you guys just like automatically fell in love with her? Isn't she the coolest lash artist ever? Honestly, I cannot be any more grateful for today. Not only is it my birthday, but the fact that she sat down and talked to me. This is our 1 year anniversary together, so it means a lot to me that she actually took the time to sit down from her busy schedule. And we all know that Jenna is literally the definition of a boss babe who is killing it. If you guys like today's video, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you are new here, if Jenna sent you, then make sure to DM me if you guys want to be a part of this series, because I am interviewing and sitting down with any lash babe who wants to talk about their journey or give any helpful hints. So if you do want to be a part of this series, make sure to DM me on my Instagram. I'll have the link down below so you guys can go talk to me. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Your love and support means the world to me. And seriously, can my birthday special be any more special? Thank you so much, Jenna, for giving me the time. So thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification button so you guys don't miss out on future episodes. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.